Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of our Toast the Toss. Now that we are having the midweek review, I am getting confused whether it's the IPL Toast the Toss episode or is it the midweek preview. But there have been so many games that has kept the audience on the hook. And with me, joining me today is Tejas. So Tejas, great 2 days of cricket. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, in terms of seeing new talent perform, Indian talent perform, I think it's been a great couple of weeks altogether. But yeah, IPL anyway, grabs the attention of all over people all over the world. I was reading a column from Ian Chappell in Cricket Info, and he's talking about the depth of Indian cricket with accuracy. So you can say that IPL is a global tournament.
But has the depth really helped Indian cricket? Because we are yet to win a T20 World Cup after 2007, and my God, that's 15 years.
Yes. Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, it is a complex problem. It's not a simple solution because for example, Hardik Pandya is looked at number 7 for Indian team, but he plays at number 3 or number 4 for Gujarat Titans. So you see the problem. So that probably is something that the selectors and the team management have to figure out. But that's a complex problem to solve.
Okay, speaking of Hardik Pandya, let's start with the Gujarat Titans versus Mumbai Indians.
Yeah.
And that was some game. You thought Gujarat had almost had it in its kitty, and then things went awry for them. So can you tell us what happened?
I feel, these kind of games we have seen before. I think last time around it was Rajasthan versus Punjab in 2021, where Karthik Tyagi defended around about 3 or 4 runs in the last over against, Puran and Aiden Markram, if I'm not wrong. So this is what IPL brings in, right? If you see a little bit of lethargy or, little bit, so it's all game of momentum. So I remember Hardik Pandya, coming up to the toss and saying in the last game, not the game against, the last game that we are talking about, but he came in and say, yeah, we want to experiment, we want to challenge ourselves, and bat first. See, IPL is not the kind of tournament where you take chances. Victory comes at a premium cost, and if you break the momentum, this is what happens. I think that is the problem with Gujarat.
Yeah, but anyways, like I agreed with his view that he wants to experiment, but this time they were just following, which they are very good at. And they had almost 100 runs in the kitty, and then things just went wrong for them.
Slightly, I want to disagree over there, because in IPL you want to be top 2. That is the first aim. Unless you're in top 2, you should not experiment, because if you're not in top 2 and if you qualify third, like last time RCB played really well, but in the playoff, just one bad game and they lost and they're out of the tournament. So if you're not in top 2, I'd say do not experiment. And he's a new captain, young captain, he'll learn. But the momentum has been broken, and the teams have been shown that Gujarat is beatable. So now it will be a little tough on them. They have to come up with good cricket to win the last.
Speaking of top 2, the top 2 of the Mumbai batting clicked. Speaking about Ishan's 45 and Rohit's 43, and down below we saw Tim David finally answering all our prayers. But before we mention him, Kiran Pollard, 4 out of 14, 4 runs of 14 deliveries. You have been a big supporter of Tim David, and we were glad to see that both Ishan and Rohit were amongst the runs. So your views about Mumbai Indians batting?
So Rohit Sharma, whenever he plays conventional cricket, he has always scored runs. Also, the ball that he got out to Rashid Khan this time, he wanted to paddle sweep, or rather reverse sweep over there. So he should not be inventive and play his usual cricket, because he's such a good player. His usual shots are good enough, more than good enough to score runs in IPL. I'm really happy that he's amongst runs, because he's our captain, India captain, and we want him to do well. And I personally like him as a captain as well. So Good to see him. And Ishan Kishan, too late in the tournament, but runs are runs. I feel the price tag has bogged him down, but it's good to see him amongst the runs. He has the possibility to be the backup opener for India as well. So it's always good to see him score runs. But
Better
yeah,
late than better late than
better late than never.
faster never.
Yeah.
Uh, Another two players who played really well. It was nice to see both Shubman Gill and Saha scoring nice 50s, but then the team just could not support. But we'll be talking about this later about the bowling in the IPL. We will be moving to the next match, which was yesterday, and that was Punjab Kings versus Rajasthan Royals. Oh, that was a great match for the batsmen. Everyone seemed to have scored runs. But what was your takeaway? What did you enjoy the most about the match?
No, I feel the margin of error is so low for teams these days. Punjab, even though Chahal bowled really well, I think Chahal restricted them from a score of 210, 215, 290. He bowled superbly well. But if you see the 18th over from Rabada, the international pro, he gave away around 16, 17 runs in the 18th over. See, the margin of error is so small these days. One bad over will cost them the game. So, a little unfortunate for Kings 11. I would have preferred them to win, of course, being an RCB fan. But a good game, no doubt. Had quite good contest between the two. So yeah, a great game. But yeah, unfortunate for Punjab.
But it was nice to see. One thing I love about the Rajasthan Royals team is that they believe in the young players. Earlier, we have seen how much the team has invested in the likes of Sanju Samson, and it's great to see that the same amount of level and trust is being bestowed on someone like Yashasvi Jaiswal, who scored 68. We have seen how generous they have been with Riyan Parag. So, Tejas, what do you like about the youngsters of our Rajasthan Royals?
Yeah, they're fearless. That's what I believe. You see Riyan Parag, jumping around in the field. He has no fear. He rarely misses a ball. He takes all the catches, and he played an important. I feel that game against RCB, if they had lost, then the pressure would have been on them. So whenever it was needed, it was really needed. He came out and bailed them out. And Yashasvi Jaiswal played probably his best innings of his IPL career yesterday, chasing 190. It was not going to be easy, but he was fearless and he went for his shots. And a man of the match performance after coming back into the team speaks a lot about their mental fortitude. I think we talked about it last episode as well. The mental fortitude of these young Indian players is just incredible. How tough they are. So yeah, great news for Indian team, Indian cricket.
And a word of appreciation for Devdutt Padikkal also, who was amongst runs. He scored 30 odd runs, which was great. It's nice to see players from Karnataka, given that both of us are from Bangalore. In fact, Devdutt Padikkal does not stays very close to my place actually.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, bye Panali boys. Okay, next we'll be talking about a game which I did not want to watch or review. And that was, okay, here we will be having a serious debate. Tejas and I have been arguing the methodology of Brendan McCullum, that Brendan McCullum theory, which does not work. And I was proved right. Tejas.
No, so you would want players to implement that. See, with all due respect to Aaron Finch and Baba Indrajit, Baba Indrajit is coming from domestic cricket. It is becoming a little hard for him to, show that philosophy. Yeah, right. But Aaron Finch, I've been, talking with a lot of friends who watch or other, follow the game very closely. So right from 2017-18, since Bhuvi had troubled him, with the ball moving both the ways, he looks so fidgety on the crease, and
Yeah.
not for a single moment have I seen him being formidable or rather, assured at the crease. And I don't know how franchises are still picking him to
Yeah,
open.
yeah.
I'd rather say drop him and bring in Pat Cummins and ask Nitish Rana to open. That's what
I was actually quite miffed when I saw Aaron Finch being included in the team because he was in Pakistan and he wasn't scoring runs even in Pakistan. So on what basis they got Finch is something surprising, and it's the entire team. I don't know how do some players find their place in the team. I've been blown out of my mind of the sheer
it's
of
it's
so many experiments happening.
it's poor auction strategy, doesn't it? I mean, they
Yeah.
retained Venki Iyer, they brought back Nitish Rana for such a huge amount. Nitish Rana is performing, no doubt, but if you don't have proper openers, I mean, it's the 15th season of the IPL. You know, as a franchisee, what will work and what will not, and especially for KKR, they've won it twice. So for them to make such a horrendous auction strategy, it just it just blows my mind. So yeah, you have to blame the team management for that. Someone like a Brendan McCullum, if he has a particular philosophy, then he should go for the players who can implement them. If not, then it's just it just
And the
looks.
choice of players, like I don't know, like they talk a lot about this in KKR that they invest a lot in their youngsters. But someone like Kuldeep Yadav, he did not like the way he was treated, and you can see a similar amount of treatment happening with Venki Iyer. He has been dropped just because he couldn't play. I don't know, means that's for Abhijit Nair to solve. But I hope they show a little bit more confidence on the players they have retained, at least in the ongoing tournament. And let's speak about Lucknow. We don't seem to talk much about Lucknow because they have been doing everything right. So, what has Gautam Gambhir done to?
For me, from the auctions, I think I had mentioned whenever we had discussion that LSG probably were the winners of the auction. Even when Mark Wood was unavailable because of injury, they still looked formidable. They had a few blips in between where they should have won, but I think they have a complete team, and KL is just leading them perfectly, and everything is clicking for them. I personally feel they have a better squad and better depth than the other new team, Gujarat Titans, and I feel they'll finish top of the table. It's just when something is going right, there's not a lot to talk about the team. Just everything is going fine for
But
them.
there's something I really love about the team. Mohsin Khan, Avesh Khan,
Yeah.
they have been taking runs. They have been bowling at a very economical rate.
Yeah.
So
I feel yesterday the over against Shreyas Iyer from Mohsin Khan, right? That's probably the one of the best over of in the IPL this year I've seen. I know we have seen some really good performances with pace bowlers, but I think the way he squared up an Indian international test batsman thrice in a row, it speaks volumes about the guy's skill. And 3 overs, he considered 6 runs and he got a wicket. Last match, he considered 16 runs in his 4 overs and got 4 wickets. Like Mohsin Khan, no one really knew about him, just a month ago, and he's coming here and performing so well against these genuine international cricketers. It's just an amazing story. Absolutely love these
uh,
stories.
I love one more bowler. He's my favorite West Indian uh, cricketer. Plus, I loved him when he was part of Sunrisers Hyderabad. I'm speaking about Jason Holder. Man, lesser said.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he's I don't know the amount of confidence he brings. I remember the first time he captained the West Indies team. I don't remember the team. Was it against Australia or not? But they showed a lot of mettle, and that's one thing I respect Clive Lloyd for a lot because all the star players had stepped down, and in came Darren Sammy and Jason Holder, and they have been doing wonders for the team.
Yeah, Jason Holder.
Any team they are part of.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So Jason Holder, I think from it just Jason Holder was not a genuine T20 player. He was good in Test matches. Of course, we've seen him do really well in Test cricket. But I think something about the 2020 IPL season just changed him. He took them to the playoffs, if you remember. It was a heartbreaking loss for RCB, but since then, he has been part of title-winning squad of Sydney Sixers as well in 2021. He played superbly well for them, and this year the confidence has just increased. Wickets, he's there. Runs, crucial runs at the end of the innings, he's there. Leadership inputs to KL Rahul, he's there. So it is one of the buys of the IPL season this time. He's quietly doing his work without any big statement or anything. Quietly does his work. Comes back and goes again. So it's just the right kind of a man at number 7 for any team. So LSG are just reaping rewards for a really good auction strategy.
But I'm really glad that Jason Holder did not choose to play basketball and stuck with cricket. He would have made a fantastic basketball player. Speaking about fast bowlers, there's one thing I was observing, and yesterday there was this interesting statistics of who has bowled the fastest ball in IPL. And in this IPL, I saw the names of Umran Malik, definitely. Then you have Al-Zari, Ferguson, but they are not having a great season. So my question is, does the P in Indian Premier League not represent, is not suitable for pace attack or the extreme fast bowlers?
I think cricket has evolved so much, especially in India, that we don't really, are scared against, pace. I think the prime example was Ruturaj Gaikwad versus Umran Malik. Umran Malik, shooting at 155, 156, you would see that Ruturaj still has time to play a shot. That shot over a longer, for me, is the shot of the tournament. You can tell me about any other shots. So pure pace won't work in the Indian Premier League, because the batsmen, they're not scared now. Or they're scared about is the movement of the pitch and the movement in the air. If you don't have these two, and if you are banking on especially just the pace, then raw pace, then you're nowhere, because everyone is a master at batting, rather swinging through the line, and then it's just I'll go back to Ruturaj's innings. It was just a masterclass at playing raw pace.
But Tejas, speaking only about cricket, like would these bowlers like Umran Malik or even Bumrah, he has not been that effective, or any Lockie Ferguson and all, would they be really potent in, say, somewhere in Australia, New Zealand, or even England for that matter of fact?
Yeah, I mean, England definitely. If you, there's a lot of seam movement in England, and if you move, or rather, if there is seam movement at that pace, of course, batsmen will struggle. And in Australia, the bounce will be a little more, right? So back of the length, or even if you see the length balls will fly to your neck, or to your shoulder more often than not. So definitely they will be more effective than these Indian pitches, where there's not a lot of bounce. There is space, but there's not a lot of bounce. So in thinner conditions, definitely they will.
My heart goes out for Umran Malik. I think he has to be mentored properly. He does not lose. He should not lose his heart.
No, I think
because he has been bowling really well. Means like hats off to him. He has been doing his job, but he has to be mentored. He has to be taught a lot of things. I presume I'm not the right person, but
definitely he'll be part of a lot of India A tours. He'll complete a whole season with Jammu and Kashmir, the Ranji Trophy. There is no hurry in bringing him to the Indian team. Let him go through his paces. Let him learn. There's a lot of time. He has got the eye of Indian team management. He'll be part of the A tours, which I feel are more important than even Ranji Trophy matches for that matter. So he'll be taken care of properly. I don't see Indian team management wasting a gem like Umran Malik. I think he'll be polished and he'll be raring to go in a couple of years.
Yeah, like everyone is praising him from Saurav Ganguly to P. Chidambaram.
Yeah.
I didn't know P. Chidambaram follows IPL. Okay, on that note, we will be previewing the games, which will be effective tomorrow. Today I wore red, and then I realized that RCB has decided to wear green.
Yeah.
Green is not their favorite color. They haven't won much matches wearing green, right?
No, there were times when I was looking forward to them wearing green. I think Chris Gale smashed 37 to Prasant Parameswaran back in 2011 or 2012. I don't remember. So, and there was this.
2012.
Yeah, and then there was this masterful partnership between AB and Virat against Gujarat Lions as well. So I was looking forward to wearing them, but for the last 3-4 years, I'd rather not see the green. But it's a good initiative. It's a good initiative.
I really love them in green. I really love that kit actually.
Yeah.
I would love to buy that jersey.
Is it because no? Is it because Narayan thrashed RCB while they were green wearing green? Is that reason?
I think green is the color of Bangalore.
Yes.
So that's my view about it.
No, jokes apart, of course, it's a great initiative. I don't see any other team doing something like this. It's a great initiative. We definitely are in. So the temperature right now, I talk about it. It's around in my town, Davangere, it is around 38 right now. So, so you can see the importance of global warming, and the greenery has to be there, and it's a great initiative by the RCB management. I just hope the things is broken and they do well today. That's the only answer.
I believe the same. I hope the same happens, but I hope SRH also pulls up their socks and does something special. Okay, on the other note, we have CSK versus Delhi Capitals. So CSK seems to be doing well recently after the change in captaincy or the captain coming back. Your views about Tala versus Pant?
CSK have shown that improvement over the last 3-4 games. Even when Jadeja was there, you could see the sparks that CSK is improving. They are a decent team to be languishing at number 9. But I feel Delhi has an all-rounded team now. Now that David Warner is back in form as well, their pace attack is decent, and of course they've got good spinners as well. So. I don't know about Akshar Patel whether he's available or not, but even without that, I think they look like a formidable team, and I do predict a comfortable victory for Delhi Capitals, so that they are remaining in the race for playoffs.
Okay, and today happens to be May 8th and the birthday of Pat Cummins. Yeah. Who has been enjoying pav bhaji for some reason. He has never tasted pav bhaji. I enjoyed that one actually. He was part of Mumbai Indians previously, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Very early days. Yeah. But it's glad that he's finally found some delight in pav bhaji, and I hope he returns to the KKR scheme of things.
Yeah, for me, drop Finch, have Nitish Rana open and get Pat Cummins. You cannot leave him. Okay. Imagine and Pat Cummins bowling together. That's a treat to watch anyway.
Tejas, we are coming at the fag end of our show and also of the tournament. So your top 4 picks, the 4 teams you think will be there in the playoffs?
Gujarat, LSG, or rather, I'll go with the order. I see LSG at number 1, Gujarat at number 2, Rajasthan Royals at number 3, and I don't want to say it. I don't want to say number 4.
Salah.
I'll go with RCB at number 4.
Okay. Mine would also be similar to a certain extent, but I would love to see SRH in the place of, say, Rajasthan Royals, or I shouldn't tell it. I stay in Bangalore. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it was fun talking cricket with Tejas. And do watch us, share, subscribe our channel, the Toast Network. We are going to have a preview of the Miami Formula One race today. So your views about that, Tejas? Let's pitch that in also.
It's Ferrari 1-2 in the qualifying. I hope it stays the same.
Oh, I'm glad I'm wearing the red.
My ball is always red, so I'm always red.
Great. And let's not talk about the other red team, which is suffering a lot of loss, and that's Manchester United. But that will be some other show, some other day. On that note, we loved this discussion. Do watch us, do share, subscribe, and spread a word about our show. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Tejas.
Thank you.